Injo! Maglakaw! Parang pinipersonal mo yata ako. So pag meron kayong mga personal issues within each other, yan.
Masyado pala ako aggressive. Gusto ko folded wish.
It's a really interesting twist of things because you first make quotes and verses, and that's a pretty feel good kind of game. Like brings people together, and then it's highly strategic, and now both highly strategic and very relevant. Have you guys played with other people? What was the experience like? I know we're gonna experience this, mamaya. Pero what was the general experience when you play tested it with people? May nag-away ba? May lumabas ba na? Alam mo, diba? Parang pinipersonal mo yata ako.
Please tell us yes.
So surprisingly, wala pa ako nakikita so far.
Baka ito na yung first time.
Nagpersonalan. And I worked with kids, especially with this one, where I realized in the original edition, 2016 edition, the content was very my age, and I realized I had to also pick up the issues of kids. So when they're playing, like there's content here for crypto.
Oh, really?
So all of the oldies are like, ano tong crypto? They'll discard it, but the kids are, oh, crypto! And that's what they're gonna pitch through. And then, I'm gonna use Elon Musk because he's gonna stomps that.
All encompassing.
Yeah.
So the millennials will love this.
Yeah. So I think that is what worked with it. That it's the topics are wide and relevant enough. You may not necessarily know all of them, because it's not for your demographic. It's probably for another age group or a different demographic. But there's going to be content there that will appeal and work with you. And I think that's why it gives people enough breathing room to not focus on the personal angst, but rather, how do I convince him and how do I make a funny comment for
I
this?
actually know the perfect place kung saan pwedeng i-introduce talaga to. UP. Plataporma. Tignan natin yung gusto nyo sabihin.
Actually, I haven't played this na mayroon nag-away. I like I said earlier, I think the game itself creates a space
of understanding,
na safe, that you can explore these topics without offending somebody directly.
And that's what we need right now.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And unless there's personal beef going on between me and you.
Pag may history na talaga, tapos yung mga parinig mo, hindi na talaga about this game.
Hindi naman kasali yun.
Dapat folded.
Ito, quotes and verses yun. Pag gano'n, parang medicine pala to. So pag meron kayong mga personal issues within each other, yan.
Masyado pala ako aggressive. Gusto ko folded wish.
If you want to kind of like put each other to the limit, then you play folded wishes. Pero kung gusto mo talagang just to let out of steam, laro tayo Plataporma. But I want to go back to what we talked about a few years ago. Is that what's really missing right now, and what Tabletop Games does, is it prevents you from your usual online toxicity. Try doing that across, in front of a table, in front of guys across you, and try to be toxic, and kung hindi ka ba naman masuntok talaga direct.
Yeah.
It teaches you a certain level of gentlemanly discipline, playing on a safe space where you can actually perform, win or lose, and still be very gentlemanly at the manner. And I think that's the lost art of being polite and courteous that we grew up with Tabletop, and we can't do that online anymore.
I mean, just for one, you have to listen. So as the voter, you have to listen to everyone, and everyone also has to wait for each one to take their turn.
Right.
So just that, where you take a turn to actually listen to somebody pitch and hear them out, and then add your. So that's something we normally don't do anymore. We just want to reply. We just want
We
to
don't
comment.
listen.
We no longer listen.
Yun yung ginagawa natin.
Saka iba talaga yung iba yung dynamics ng online discussion. It's really weird.
Oh.
You see people doing stuff there that they would not do in real life.
Correct. True. Absolutely.
And then talagang, talaga, this person, ganito? Parang pagkausap kong bait-bait
It's weird eh. Parang they got the courage to be rude. Pero when pagharap-harapan, hindi mo naman makikita yun. And that's the sad truth. Ngayon, lalo na ngayon na malapit na yung election. It weirds me out na someone na magkaibigan can be enemies because my opinions or whoever I'm following isn't the same as who is following.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Diba?
Yeah. People seem to forget that you can still get punched in the face.
Actually, we can all revert to that. Diba?
But that's barbarism, and they think that the screen will protect. But Plataporma,
And that's after folded wishes,
Oh.
barbarism.
Anong tingin mo sa akin? And what?
Gagawa pa akong giveaway.
Yun. Oh, you have the title now. Barbarism.
Kaya kay barbaridad.
Okay, barbaridad.
Pero dapat bundled din with Q&A.
Pero may pang-balance.
May balance.
So Fred, I want to ask you just one last question. With the ever-growing number of locally made tabletop games, and we were all excited to know this. Based on my experience with playing Combatron, being able to see who good at the time. Where can we go from here? Because we're all tabletop enthusiasts at one point. And sabi ko nga, the Filipino nerd is very unique. That you're not just a nerd at one thing. If you're a nerd or a geek, you've probably gone through. You've probably played Magic at some point in your life. You've played the family computer. You've played chess at some point, maybe not, or some sort of snakes and ladders, or you've read comic books or books, and that's how diverse the Filipino nerd is. Where do we go from now, where we have these many titles? Are we still going to be? Is there a mechanism that's promoting to create more? I mean, do we have a lot of developers coming, and how can we get into the help growing this community?
There's definitely some people who are doing self-publishing. Meron mga small runs. They'll print their own games. We're continuing. I'm constantly looking for games or ideas that we can publish. Right now, the industry itself is not that profitable, and that's probably why we really don't have any competition. But because there's really not a big market to share. The reason why we're still doing this is because I believe that the Filipino designer is world class.
Yes.
I'm not saying we're better. I'm saying na kaya natin.
We can compete.
We can compete.
Globally.
Diba? I'm not saying we're better, but we have a
We're there.
we have
at that level.
we have a space na pwede tayong pumasok.
Yep.
Diba? Gusto ko nga magkaroon ng booth sa SM na, Filipino games tayo.
Right.
I don't know how to get that done yet. Yun yung gusto ko mangyari eventually. But we do need to grow the base for tabletop games locally, and that shows in the kind of games we publish. Na like for example, yung QNB, yung first game nga namin na pinablish, we're targeting an audience outside of our immediate audience of geeks and like Q&B, sino yung target natin dyan? Churches and religious people, religious community,
Connect groups, like groups.
So it's always like that. When we published Combatron, we wanted to reach out to the Combatron fans na alam namin marami, di ba? Because we know that the local board game community actually by itself cannot support an industry, a local publishing industry. Especially with board games, when you're one barkada, you don't each buy a copy.
Yeah.
You buy one copy for say 8 to 10 people. Diba? So that immediately shrinks down the amount of copies you can sell. Plus, you have to think that not all gamers will like this particular game.
Right.
That's why we have to reach out to the our existing market ng ready board game players. That's why we do these kinds of games. Kaya nga yung Folded Wishes, when I saw the design, sabi ko, maganda yung design. but I don't know how to make this marketable to
Locally.
people in the Philippines outside of the core market na meron tayo.
Yep.
So we have to do this internationally, and thankfully yung design nagkaroon siya ng appeal enough na merong US publisher na hey, this is good, we'll do something about it. And actually itong game nga na to, the team, we have nothing to do with it.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Talagang yung core design lang. Core design lang.
The original design is AI is waking up and you guys are trying to find the nodes where you can isolate the AI and then convert it to turtles moving around the shore and to starship delivery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we kept changing because
and ducks in the row. Ducks in a row. It was everything under the sun. So,
we were always thinking, paano natin ito bibenta sa mga Pilipino? Diba? And we really can't, we can't wrap our heads around it. So, sige, dali na natin sa let them think about it. And then, yun nga, nag-swak naman.
Yeah.
Diba?
When they thought about, hey, and this is the first game that had these sort of checkered meeples. So most meeples are just the normal solid ones. So this one was the first one that had this look in the origami theme. We were all like,
Galing.
hindi namin naisip yun. Naisip na namin kung ano-ano.
Nice. Actually, for GT, ayun yung gusto talaga namin mangyari. I mean, there are a lot of Filipinos that are not aware of the pop culture world or universe dito sa locally. Like, we know of Katwalan, we know of Pugad Baboy, but not all of us know. Not them.
Yeah.
Hindi nila alam. Kumbaga tayo yung magicians, wizards, some Harry Potter, at sila, mga normal na tao, mga normal.
If Kat is
Are
watching...
you calling them muggles?
if Kat is watching, if we do find a game design that you think will fit with your universe, we'll do it.
Alright.
Yes.
Narinig nyo, ah.
Pero basically what I'm saying is, what we want to do in GP is really to introduce or reintroduce the pop culture scene here in the Philippines. Siyempre, along with the comics that we read, with the games that we play, even game developers, diba? Mga Pinoy game developers sila, Sir Ben Banta,
Si Malapit, yeah.
Lahat yan, we really wanna give highlight to them.
Kahit sabihin mo, alam mo na, pero when you venture into these tabletop games, comics, whatever, you get to learn something new in the process.
Right.
And this is the advocacy of G to begin with.
Imagine if Plataporma is being bought by Filipinos outside of our country. That is internationally, diba, reach talaga. Makalat yan eh. I mean, that's something that we want to happen. Not really to, cover the entire world. Pero basically to let them know that Filipinos are at that level. Isipin nyo na lang yung mga comic book designers, comic book artists that are Filipinos that work with Marvel, work with DC. What if they came back here and do this here?
Right.
Diba? It's going to be something. It's going to be great.
Yes,
Very
they
exciting.
can work from home.
Yeah.
Diba?
Or at least hybrid.
Yeah,
We have to do this once in a while. This thing has to happen. Okay, take us home, guys. So where can we get Plataporma and Cotonverse and all the other awesome games? You just go to Neutral Ground, right? This is going for
200 pesos.
200 na ang Plataporma. We really priced it in a way that we're almost not making money because we feel that this game isn't really just for us to... Meron kaming gustong mangyari. We want people to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And we didn't want people to have an excuse na, mahal. So for 72 cards at 200 pesos, that's really, really cheap.
That is so cheap.
Yeah. So, of course, Pawikan Patrol has an advocacy.
Yeah.
And Larong Atin has an advocacy to, develop the local tabletop game designers, diba? But Plataporma goes beyond that. Plataporma wants the Filipino to have a political discussion na hindi umaabot kayo sa level na nag-aaway kayo.
Tatawag ako yun ng Bo!
Yes!
Injo!
Unfriend, nag-stop.
Unfriend.
Maglakaw!
Yun, di ba?
Hoy, please, hindi ko marinig.